And a pleasant good afternoon on this final day of June 2026. It's a Tuesday in warm Virginia Beach, Virginia for the 2026 USA Field Hockey National Club Championships presented by Harrow. It's part of the 9-day extravaganza, the finale here from the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach. Glad you're with us alongside Jenna Benscoter of Female Athlete News. I am Matthew Hatfield. We've got Nick Senti, Chuck Thornton, the entire gang here with us as well. Mackenzie Dickey, our camera producer, operator today. And Jenna, this is a glorious day for field hockey. You see all the great fans that have come out here to support these young athletes on this journey. And it's been a wild and exciting journey for so many of these kids out here competing because it's a chance to get some hardware. You see right there, there's the trophy on the screen with USA Field Hockey. And we've got a lot of talent that'll be on display for this gold medal match, which is going to pit WC Eagles. They've been champions for many, many years now, perfect 5-0. And Focus, who's 4-1, and a team that's really been on the rise.
Yeah, absolutely. For several of these athletes, it could be their last club game for U19, and it's a nice hot one for them to remember.
Yeah, the weather has been up and down throughout the Hampton Roads area the last several days. It's going to get a lot steamier in the days to come, but we've got a really good forecast today. It's sun is out, no rain or storms in the forecast. We've had that hit or miss here with all the humidity lately, but these athletes getting ready to square off in what should be an exciting game. WC Eagles is on the screen with the sky blue unis and the gold numbers. 35 goals scored so far in this tournament, none surrendered. Focus going to try to knock them off here with those pink jerseys with the white numbers as they all head out to midfield. They lost their opener 2-1, but since then they have responded and they've got 10 goals scored, 4 allowed, a 2-1 victory over Freedom HKY in the semis. Give us your sense of this matchup here, Jana, and a couple of players we should watch out for.
On WC side, there's a handful of the athletes who will be going over to the FIH Youth Hockey Cup right before, or actually alongside of the FIH World Cup. And then there are also 2 from Focus who are as well playing in the competition for U16 and U18. Focus in their competition against Freedom, they took it down to the wire. It was the last penalty corner of the game that they scored on that got them to the semifinals. So they were really good at holding it down on the sidelines. They had some chaotic moments with stick obstruction, and they were able to work the seams. But when you're going to look at WC, they worked the backfield with Sophia Ferry, who's committed to North Carolina. She's really good at transitioning the ball from right to left. Then they look for that through ball, so they have that pace. And I had the fortunate opportunity to run into a couple of the Focus girls prior to the game, and they said they were going to try to match the speed out of the gate from WC, which they're well known for.
I like that. Just the confidence that you got to have if you're going to be able to play with this WC Eagles outfit, which has won the U19, U16, and U14 gold medal in every year since 2021. And earlier in this event, in fact, WC Eagles able to come away with the U14 championship last Wednesday as they were able to get it done and the U16 crown on Saturday. So they're trying to get the trifecta yet again. But they did have this U19 division. Correct me if I'm wrong. They had a little bit of a scare earlier in this event. They not. They had one of the games that went to, or I'm mistaken. That was the other age
U16,
division, U16. Yep. Beg your pardon. Thank you.
Okay.
That had the scare. Had to go to a shootout. So there might be some teams that are watching. There could be a little vulnerability or ability to knock them off, if you will.
Yeah, I think that most teams here are always gunning for the top competition. Mm-hmm. They want to have that experience. They want to test their tactics. They want to see what they've learned. That's one of the things that Kayla Takahashi-Trader, she is going to be on the U16 team traveling to the Belgium and the Netherlands. She had mentioned that, she wants to go there and come back and learn everything and absorb everything. A lot of these athletes want to do that. But, of course, they want to leave with a medal, too. And for Focus, this will be their first top medal, and this is their first time to the championship game.
So we'll see what they can get done here in this matchup. We're waiting for some of the numbers to be given to us as far as the players to shout out for each squad. So as we await that, we'll tell you we're underway here. WC Eagles working from left to right there, and there's a good move there. You mentioned Kayla Takahashi-Trader from Yorktown, Virginia. In fact, her older sister, Kira, was the Tidewater Player of the Year. And she had a heck of a career over there at Tab High School, which has been a dynasty under Wendy Wilson. 89-0, perfect record the last 4 years. They had the Virginia record for consecutive victories, as we see early on here. A chance for WC Eagles to get on the board as they try to get an opportunity. And didn't take long for them to really assert themselves here early on here, Jana, as we see their ability to give the opposition trouble when they get near the net. But
Their sense of urgency from the moment that was blown, they just put it right there, hit the post. Unfortunately for their scoring opportunity, but Focus already knew that they were going to come out with that firepower.
It looked like it was about to go through, no question. But going back to Takahashi Trader, so sister 118 goals in her career, and then not only that, she's got an older brother who is an accomplished player. In fact, Caden, is a pitcher for Longwood University, so that's an athletic family there that's really making its mark here. And we see another chance for WC Eagles to get in the circle here and put one in the back of the cage, and it's going to be a corner coming up, it looks like, for WC Eagles here in this opening couple of minutes. Nope, they're going to continue play, rather. I thought that was going to be a corner issue as they move it to the far side, trying to wheel their way through. That one's going to be taken away. Focus with another good defensive stop there to get possession. Working the far sideline as that one trickles out of play. So Focus not daunted here in the early going. They've been able to respond here with a couple of threats from WC Eagles in this early portion of the match, a team that's averaging 7 goals per game so far in the event.
Yeah, Focus knew that this was going to happen, and their energy level, they just want to keep it up and keep it as high as possible for the longevity of the entire 48 minutes.
And again, the 48 minutes you mentioned, it's a 12-minute periods for 4 quarters here in this championship game. Our broadcast here on Cova Sports TV is brought to you by the great folks at Pain and Gain. You'll see more from them coming up during our commercial breaks. But the U14 division had abbreviated quarters. We had, or I should say, halves last Wednesday. So a little different for that age division, U14 and U16. Certainly we had some weather. You and Isaac had some weather on Saturday for the broadcast with that, but able to get the gold medal and bronze medal matches in as we see WC Eagles trying to get another chance here. But once more, Focus able to step up and keep them from getting a shot on goal.
What's good about the initial observations that I'm seeing in this circle for Focus on defense is that they're not collapsing. They're not allowing the frantic pace that WC have, that they're not allowing them to just come in and take that shot. They are stepping to the ball, which means, they're not timid or intimidated by them. They're just trying to match their pace.
How much, Jana, do you think there's an adjustment from, you certainly play 5 games in this event, both of these teams coming in, you get here, you have Sunday, Monday, now it's Tuesday, it's championship day, then you get to the finale of it, it's a gold medal. Do you at all have the mental part different? Because it's the last one and there's more importance of it to win it, and we mentioned Focus lost its first game to LPFH 2-1, but also, in addition to that, do you think the coaches are doing anything differently tactically than maybe they showed in the previous 4 games? What's your view of that?
Having been able to talk to a handful of them, they're just so excited to be here. And they had said that with Virginia being a hockey state that they're proud to represent. So, yeah, they're thinking about the game. But their mental approach was, we want to have fun and we want to show that Virginia matches field hockey just like Pennsylvania. They said, we're just south of Pennsylvania and our club teams are just as strong. Our high school teams are just as strong. So they want to be known as a field hockey state. With that being said, they all know they're from a handful of different schools and they're working together fluidly and they're trying to find their passing lanes just like anyone else. So they're thinking about the details and the tactics, but their bottom line was more like, we just want to do our best here today, perform our best.
Really cool thing, too, is for these 2 programs that are squaring off in the championship, I got to give them, and they're 2 of many, they're not the only ones that do this, but they go above and beyond to certainly highlight their athletes, their student athletes, for what they're doing. Focus has a website that fans can check out. It's club.focusfieldhockey.com. It mentions all the things. As that one's going to go, almost went through, went airborne and over the cage there. But that's a good site to check out for folks that want to learn more about them. And then WC Eagles has their WCEaglesFieldHockey.com page, and I see up there, in fact, that they've got 7 players that have been selected to the World Youth Hockey Festival with the U.S. Women's National Team, and that's going to be hosted in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, this August, next month, basically. I say next month because tomorrow's the first day of July.
Right,
so
yeah.
A lot of them are getting ready for that, prepping, and we might not have we're waiting for the full rosters to be given to us here, folks, so bear with us. But some of the players that we've become accustomed to seeing with them in the past may or may not be here today, but their list of college commits, I mean, it's a litany of players that are going to the next level as we get our first corner now officially of this opening stanza, almost 6 minutes gone by, and we'll see if WC Eagles can get on the board. But really cool for those athletes and also for the fans out there to check out and learn more information about them. As we'll see this corner come from the far side. And that one takes a ricochet. Looked like it might went off
The goalie's pads.
yeah, I was gonna say
Yep.
one of those pad leg areas
So
right there. Just
long.
took a little hop into the distance. Oh, nifty pass there along the end line, but then we see WC Eagles able to stick with it and put it through as they get the first goal on the board with 5:38 to go in our first quarter. And WC Eagles striking there after the corner opportunity ended up being stopped, but they get another chance and they make the most of it to draw first blood in this gold medal match for U19 here at the Virginia Beach Regional Training Center. And Focus finding themselves behind. We'll see how they respond here from this early deficit. That was pretty textbook the way they made that work fundamentally. Just a good little dish in, and they got it to go through.
Yeah, they went their 5 meters right outside the circle, and baseline had a pass right in front of the goalie, took her one step off her angle and shot it right in. Got it behind her back.
81 degrees on this final Tuesday and final day of June as we see a couple of substitutions now. WC Eagles subbing out. They have the depth, and I think that's one of the things that certainly separates their program, Jane, is they have so many different weapons that can
for sure
step up and make a play, create and make something happen, which Focus is trying to do here as they now have possession. One of the rare times we've seen them on the other side of the 50 here in this opening quarter. Focus has some quality players. I know from collegiate school in Richmond, the Northwestern commit Alexandra Curtis. We mentioned her in the open, playing on the U18 World Youth Hockey roster, and collegiate, along with a couple of the programs up there in that Richmond area. The high school fans are familiar with having played teams here in the 757 area code, the Trinity Episcopals, the collegiates. They've come down here and played the Norfolk Academies of the world that have been among the upper echelon and nationally ranked. And so no stranger to fierce competition and seeing some of the best in the nation, and she's certainly solidifying herself as one of them as we watch Focus on the move now.
their first circle entry. Yep.
And it's going to result in a corner for Focus. How about that?
That's how they ended the game against Freedom. They were doing a lot of good ball movement and just dodging, weaving in and out with their stick skills, keeping the ball on their stick, and they were earning the corners.
So we'll see on the near side here for Focus on their initial corner of the day in this matchup. And they tie the game up 1-1. How about that on the corner? Just a missile that went to the back of the net, and Focus is on the board.
There was some power. That was a great execution, ball placement, and just hammered it in. Nice and calm. I think they're calm and ready to go.
Job well done. You mentioned it, Gina. You were right on the point with it. They didn't really seem intimidated by WC Eagles. That first burst they're going to hit you with, where it's like almost the TKO, and they've come right back. Mm-hmm. And sticking to their plan and the execution there to make this a battle against the WC Eagles outfit that folks remember just a year ago in the U19 championship blanked Bull City 11-0. And we do now have the rosters, so we will read you those here as we close out the opening quarter. Probably read you some of them as we begin the second quarter, because we see Focus is on the move again, trying to.
The numbers. They had the numbers.
It's a second corner. Look at this for Focus. Making it work here in this U19 championship. Presented by Ahero. Glad you're with us. Now that one gets away to the side there.
A touch by the defender, so it'll be a long.
I believe that was number 22, Skylar Freistet from Greenbackville, Virginia for Focus. Again, if we do happen to miss a number with the name, we'll mention the rosters here coming up in the second quarter. We'll have a little more time to do that. We do apologize. That sun and then the glare with some of those numbers, especially those gold numbers for WC Eagles, make it a little trickier than normal. But how about focus the way they're closing out this opening frame? A jet flying over us here at the RTC. You might hear some of that sound in the background for those that are tuning in on Cova Sports TV. Trying to stretch them out and really play this last 40 seconds patiently, Jana, because you don't want to give WC Eagles possession back, which they just did, and have a chance to really wipe away all the momentum they've earned here in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, well, the storyline with WC is that they'll go the entire game and they'll run at this pace or try to keep it at this clip, so it'll be a test for Focus to see whether they can hang with them.
On the move now, and Focus able to get in front of that pass. And that one just got away from the intended target along the sideline. Under 10 seconds to go in this first frame. That one hit up ahead, but we'll go to the second quarter.
Stepping on defense.
Even Steven, one apiece with WC Eagles and Focus. We got ourselves a dandy of a U19 championship with USA Field Hockey. The National Club Championships brought to you by Harrow, and it's also sponsored by Pain and Gain here on Cova Sports TV. We'll step aside and come back with more right here after this.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
Pain and Gain, your one-stop shop for all things field hockey. Located in Princess One Shopping Center, Virginia Beach, we carry everything you need on the turf, from black sticks, turf shoes, mouth guards, and much more. Try out your stick before you buy in our synthetic turf area. Pain and Gain. Embrace the pain, enjoy the game.
Second quarter about to start here at the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach. Glad you're with us here as we bring you this U19 National Club Championship presented by Harrow, and it's sponsored by Pain and Gain here on Cova Sports TV. Alongside Jenna Benscoter of Female Athlete News, I am Matthew Hatfield, and we'll tell you the rosters now for each squad here as WC Eagles in those sky blue unis with the gold numbers are on the move here to begin this second quarter. In no specific order numerically or by name. We'll give them to you here from Chester Springs, Pennsylvania. 28 is Abigail Jerdeman. 36, Camilla Lute from Devon, Pennsylvania. 87, Piper Rosben from Camp Hill, PA. Kendall Longenberger from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, number 8 for WC Eagles. Sophia Stotzi from Sewell, New Jersey, wearing number 19. Opal Sperling, a name we have come to call over the years, number 20 from Chester Springs, Pennsylvania. Elise Reagan from Royersford, Pennsylvania, wearing 15. Maura Simpson's number 4 from Dillsburg, PA. Sophia Ferry, you've heard Jenna mention her, from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. One of the key elements to this team. Ariana Frogomeni from Mountain Lakes, New Jersey, is wearing number 1. Jack Shaw from Exton, Pennsylvania, ranked among the top players in the 2027 class from Max Field Hockey, is wearing number 5. Maeve McGinley from Plymouth Meeting, PA, number 7. Reese Malone from Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, wearing 46. Caitlin Paul from Lansdale, Pennsylvania, wearing 54. Morgan O'Donnell from Lincoln University, Pennsylvania. Morgan's wearing number 9. Sunday Draper, 22, from Quakerstown, PA. Cheyenne Green from Sellersville is wearing number 10. Number 38 is Gabriella Lee from Westchester. And we'll stop here for a minute on Gabriella Lee because right there near post side, it's going to be another one that's on the board for WC Eagles. We'll see if we can happen to possibly zoom in a little for you to see if what that number is. But with 4 minutes, 3 minutes gone by just about in the second quarter, they're already up 2-1 here as they get that second goal of the half, and just got to a good spot on the near post side there, Jana, to break the tie on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of the goals scored by WC now have been field goals versus the one goal scored by Focus, and that was on a corner. Their ball movement is placed right there, squeezing it in at that far post for the goalie and just trying to get her 1 foot off, like one balance off by moving the ball. Their ball movement is very solid. There's
a player for Focus that was sandwiched between two WC Eagles, number 9 Morgan O'Donnell and number 7 Maeve McKinley. We're about to give you the Focus roster in a minute, but we left off with Gabriella Lee, 38, number 41 Naomi Nowinski from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. 17 is Kiara Sack from Havertown, PA, and we see Focus now get into the shooter circle, and they have a chance to possibly turn and put one on goal, but they'll get their first corner of the period, third of the half. So here they go with a chance to knot things up. Quickly, Lexi Patton's wearing 26 for WC Eagles. She from Westchester, Pennsylvania. Casey McCormick from Haddonfield is 55. Reese Gone from Nottingham is 32. And Reagan Gone, number 40. The Gone sisters from Nottingham, Pennsylvania for WC Eagles. But here's Focus. We'll tell their names and numbers in a moment. Trying to get on the board after that goal was scored with just under 10 minutes to go in the half from WC Eagles. And that was a good play defensively, as you saw right there, getting in the midst of it. Number 14 for WC Eagles. Looked like it was 14, and I don't see a 14 on our WC Eagles roster that made that play defensively, but another chance coming for Focus here. Good pass to the left side. That one's going to deflect up again. Might be 17, rather, I think. I think I might have misspoke on that one. Jana Kira Sack, who quickly closed down that lane for Focus to try to create, and here they come back the other way.
Opal Sparling, who's committed to Stanford, doing a nice little spin move right out of that down the field, getting it more in the scoring opportunity for WC.
And you see right there for Focus a chance to get back on the other side of the 50 if they're able to create with this one. But that one took a couple of hops and out of play. For Focus, we mentioned Kira Trader, number 53 from Yorktown. 22 is Skylar Freestat from Greenbackville, Virginia. Elizabeth Tran out of Pocosa, number 28. She's been an accomplished all-state performer for the Bull Islanders. 212 is Charlotte Hoots from Wareneck, Virginia. Number 2, Gemma Lee from Newport News. Number 1, Avery Johnson from Henrico. Number 115, Cora Doty from Virginia Beach. 98, Michaela Quinn from Virginia Beach. Number 95, Viviana Chambers from Virginia Beach. Madeline Buckley from Williamsburg wearing 156. Mia Jones, number 29 from right here in the heart of Virginia Beach. 94 is Isabel Atley from Yorktown. 32, Alexandra Curtis, who we highlighted from Richmond out of collegiate school. Kayla Takahashi Trader, number 51 from Yorktown, Virginia. 277, Sydney Fulmer from Williamsburg. Reese Clute, 116 out of Virginia Beach. 113, Elena Moore from Midlothian. 10 is Isabella Glenn from Virginia Beach. Cadence Parker wearing 108. She's from Suffolk. And the round out the roster, 139, Lela Grace Logan from Richmond. And 34, Isabella Terry from Virginia Beach. 100, Lillian Harder from North Chesterfield, Virginia. So all the players from the Commonwealth, Jana, they're sort of the hometown favorite, if you will, but they know going into it, WC Eagles is a different type of team and an animal, a machine, if you will, that they're facing, but a lot of local flavor that fans around this part of Virginia are quite familiar with.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, which Commonwealth?
That's a good one, yes. Commonwealth of PA or
Yeah.
Commonwealth of VA. But
Right, yeah.
there's certainly a lot of folks that have watched these young ladies compete at the high school level here in Virginia. And many have gone on to accomplish great things, state championships, all-state, deep in the playoffs. And we see now WC Eagles, this reset with Sunday Draper.
I mean, you have powerhouse programs like Richmond and UVA, ODU. There's so many colleges here where these girls have access, where these young women have access to seeing elite field hockey being played.
No question about it, just tons of them.
Yeah.
Just in this past 2026 class
Liberty.
for WC Eagles, as we get another corner coming up here, you mentioned Sophia Ferry, UNC, but players that are going to Columbia, James Madison, Fairfield, Connecticut, Ohio State, Duke, Syracuse, list goes on and on and on. I could keep reading, but it would take us to about halftime at this point.
Yeah.
Here's the corner to the middle. Thought she
Sweep
might
out in
dump it
front.
off,
Yeah.
but they get
Enough
on the
power.
rebound and they put it through. And we'll see if we can get that number for you. I couldn't quite tell who that one was, but might have been number 4, Mara Simpson. I think she might have been the one that got that goal. We'll try to check on that at halftime.
Their huddle is good, but it's not helping us. We're not able to just
They do it so
pick
quick.
out-
I do
yeah.
see Mara Simpson in the
It's
middle of
good.
our screen area, but 3-1 is
right
the
here.
count.
Yeah.
And again, Morris Simpson, one of those key players we mentioned, Jack Shaw going to UNC, just loaded with talent.
Yes.
As they're starting to get, I think that goal at the middle part of the, or I should say end of the first quarter, around 3:20 to go, kind of reignited the fire for WC Eagles. Not that they so much lost it, but they realize they have to go earn this thing. It's not going to be handed to them from focus.
Yep.
As it gets knocked out of play here as we near 3 minutes to go in the first half. And you mentioned it earlier, Jana, just their passing ability to get connected, where we see some of these teams, they try to make these longer passes, the long hits, and these connections with stick to ball go flying out of play. Theirs seem to be so much on point, pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah, they pass with purpose. And it's not just one play. They have multiple plays, multiple runs, and they're comfortable with one another. A handful of these women play together in high school at the Hill School NDA. Piper Risbin, also one of the goalies. She's in Central Pennsylvania. Kendall, also Central Pennsylvania. They're accustomed to each other's styles at this point. They've been playing together anywhere from 2 to 4 to 6 years.
Yeah, that chemistry and continuity certainly showing us. Here they are on the run. And another goal is scored for WC Eagles to increase their lead to 4-1. As we near 2 minutes to go in the first half. We can tell you it's the one with the pink shoes. We got to wait to see what number she is with the pink. Or we'll get it for you at halftime when we step aside. But 4-1 is the count for WC Eagles as they up their advantage.
Punching one in for focus, though, is so motivating. And, I mean, I think that they'll keep doing whatever they can do to keep them out of their scoring 23. But pushing it forward, they just need to get in their own thought process of being able to push the ball toward the cage.
Yeah,
It might sound basic, but that's what they need to focus on at this point.
And you know what? I think they're trying different things. You can see it, to your point. They're trying to now work the far sideline. They're trying to work
Right.
different areas of the field to see if they can give themselves an opportunity. And they've had a couple here. They got a corner earlier in the period. They had 2 in the last quarter. Just WC Eagles' talent level, their quickness, their athleticism, and like you said, the savviness that they have to know what to do both with possession and then when they get back defensively to quickly do so in transition. It's mighty commendable because I think people think, well, it's almost the old roll the ball out there and you go at it, but they work at this to get to where they are and maintain that level of excellence.
Yeah, their hockey IQ is very high.
Trying to use the far sideline again, but WC Eagles able to be aligned properly defensively. Now they're back into the circle area. Trying to get a quick dump off, and they will, again, put focus on their heels with that. And you wonder about the fatigue level in the second half. It feels like WC Eagles can do more substituting without a drop-off with their play. Focus might, if they have to sub someone out, they are near halftime, that's where they could exploit to maybe push this to a 4 or 5 goal deficit, and then it's pretty much out of reach at this point. They find over there on that pass to Sunday Draper.
It's a good thing, like at this level, U19, they're coached and they're trained, but they're not chasing the ball. WC will pass 1-2 passes and gets them into scoring position. So being organized defensively is going to up their game for Focus, making sure that they're not chasing the ball.
We've reached halftime here in this USA Field Hockey National Club Championship presented by Harrow at the 19U division, with WC Eagles breaking the 1-all tie we had in one quarter of play with 3 goals here in the second stanza. We'll step aside and come back with more from the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach. Our broadcast today brought to you by Pain and Gain right here on Cova Sports TV.
Grow the game.
Grow the game.
Grow the game.
Grow the game!
Grow the game.
Grow the game. Grow the game.
Grow the game.
Same as lame. Field hockey players have stick. They've got vibe. They've got that tuning fork in their hearts that goes off when a ball thumps the backboard of a goal. Field hockey is for the mold breakers, the convention challengers, the trailblazers, people who think outside the box and come alive inside the circle. Sure, there will always be those who mindlessly take the road more traveled, think the same, do the same, play the same. Field hockey players know that the strength of the pack is the wolf, and that the strength of the wolf is the pack. We know we're different, and we're proud of it. It's how we stand out. It's how we fit in. Like eagles, we soar individually, yet value family and togetherness highly. Join us. We're the minority of millions that get it. There's a stick waiting to be picked up, lifelong friendships to be made, goals to be a part of, victories, defeats, draws, and more. Stories to be told with you, by you, of you. There's a field hockey team waiting to be called yours. Game on. Dare to differ.
You've watched enough field hockey to know when somebody has it, the thing that can't be coached. That's what our analysts wake up every morning to do. Find what's coming to the stock market before everyone else is talking about it. We find the next big trends in finance, then we bring them to you. MarketWise, proud sponsor of USA Field Hockey, because the best investments in athletes and in markets start with knowing what to look for. See for yourself at marketwise-usa.com.
Life moves fast, but when that Freddy's hits, you can't help but slow down. Freddy's, this is the good stuff.
With 4 Hampton Roads area locations, Freddy's is just a short trip away.
Pain and Gain, your one-stop shop for all things field hockey. Located in Princess One Shopping Center, Virginia Beach, we carry everything you need on the turf, from black sticks, turf shoes, mouth guards, and much more. Try out your stick before you buy it in our synthetic turf area. Pain and Gain. Embrace the pain, enjoy the game.
I'm Mike Rowe. Welcome to the most honest commercial you're going to see all day.
Today, we're fixing sagging floors.
The problem is that moisture that we're trying to control has gotten to the wood already, and it's called this side of the home to drop. So if you have cracks around your door frame, if you have those squeaky floors or bouncy floors, most of the time we can fix that.
Get a free and honest inspection with JES Foundation Repair, a Groundworks company.
About to commence here at the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach. Glad you are with us alongside Jenna Benscoter from Female Athlete News. I'm Matthew Hatfield. We want to thank, in addition to Jana McKenzie-Dickey for her work here on camera, producing our broadcast today here, brought to you by Pain and Gain. And in the pink uniforms, Focus, making it to the championship game for the first time here in this U19 division of USA Field Hockey's National Club Championships. Again, check out usafieldhockey.com for so much great content when it comes to the sport of field hockey and everything that it's involved with. Rosters, schedules, links to the Turning Machine app, which can tell you about the results and everything happening here. In a tough battle right now with WC Eagles, the reigning, I guess we call them now, at least post-COVID, Jana, 5-time champs it is in U19.
Right.
They've won it in every age division, a 4-1 lead. They've scored 4 goals in the first half, 3 coming in that second quarter, and just a plethora of talent, and we've seen it on full display here when they really kind of seized control in that second frame.
They have, and they got into their rhythm. They started to find their passing lanes and looking forward throughs, but they also have the pace to match that ball. Collectively, the defense for Focus is trying to make sure, that they have their engaging distance and not overcommitting to the ball. They did very well in their sideline game against Freedom, which is right here again. They're trying to execute, but when you go up against WC, that's a little difficult.
When you mentioned sideline game, what would you say separates them from other club teams that you've witnessed here this week and just in the past? Because as we watch now in the middle of the field, they're able to really get from point A to point B to point C, wherever it be, side, middle, side, or even side, middle, net. As we get a corner here, like it's nothing, but it is requiring effort, even though it feels effortless for them.
Right, respect to WC, but I was also mentioning that on Focus. Focus was they have been able to bring the ball out to their sidelines and work it down the right side. I think WC, you throw them in any part of the field, and they know what matters most in that area. They respect their real estate that they have.
So here's the first corner of the second half as WC tries to get it. And a goal is going to be scored once again as they're able to get that off the corner. And it looks like that was scored by number 20 for WC Eagles, Opal Sparling, who you mentioned is headed to Stanford. Jana, she's been one that's, as she's matriculated up from the younger divisions at 14 and 16 to 19, has continued to blossom as a player, and that one was a pretty easy, simple execution of what they wanted to get done there on that corner.
Opal, I've had the pleasure of interviewing Opal several times, and her freshman year at the Hill School, she won their national championship. She put away the goal, and it's been fun to watch her develop throughout these years, because I think that what she has is natural, and it's just become even more fine-tuned. But yeah, she is committed to play at Stanford, and she's already in the USA Field Hockey pipeline. She's a hard worker, ethics, all in on the game, all in on the sport. She loves it.
We mentioned that Max Field Hockey's got a number of players in the top 10 in this game nationally. Alexandra Curtis is one of those players, the forward for this Focus team, who's wearing, if you're just tuning in now, she's wearing number 32. You have also, for WC Eagles, Sunday Draper. She's in this matchup for WC Eagles, as well as the likes of Maeve McGinley and Jack Shaw. But in some respects, maybe Sparling's a tad bit underrated, because we've shouted out her name 3 or 4 times. Is that fair to say? I mean, really good players go to Stanford, you say, how is she underrated? But she might be in a setting like this because she's kind of showing just her full repertoire of skills in a way.
I think she's grown into more of a leadership role.
Okay.
I think that's where she's, shining the most. But she already had that kind of connection with her team on the high school level at the Hill School, but then also at WC. I mean, when you put a bunch of Opals together, this is what you get,
Yeah.
and she just knows when to step up and to be that distributor instead of holding onto the ball, which oftentimes they don't do. They're not holding on to it for more than 3 to 5 seconds and doing like fancy skill work by themselves. They're always looking for a teammate. And she's one of those who will always be the one who distributes, looks up the field. First look.
Yeah, the Hill School is one of those premier programs nationally, and you don't sleep on players that come from that school. They definitely have so many standouts over the years. Is up ahead. Here's another good pass and numbers for WC as they see Focus trying to get back in transition. Just another gear here they have to their play as they've increased it to 5-1 in this second half. We'll see if Focus can get it up ahead. You see there on the near side of your screen for them is number 44. We apologize. There must be a number change from what was sent to us. I don't see a 44, but one thing for Focus that they can hang their hat on is that they put pressure on WC Eagles, which nobody had done in this event coming in. They've given up 0 gold, not a single one before this gold medal match, with 35 put up on the board in their first 5 victories. So, you know, even if they don't come in with the gold medal today, as we watch a chance here in the shooter circle, pass to the far post side, but that one's going to get intercepted as WC Eagles comes away with it. I believe that was, once again, Sunday Draper, if I'm not mistaken, we've called her name out a couple times for WC Eagles.
She'll be joining that roster going over to the World Cup.
Headed to Boston College from Quakerstown, PA.
Yep.
A couple more substitutions now for WC as they bring in some reserves to get their feet wet, and as much as get their feet wet, just stay fresh here. Mara Simpson coming back in, running back onto the pitch. We see another player, looked like that might have been Cheyenne Green. And now they go to the sideline area where they get it into 22, Sunday Draper. Good return feed. That one hops away from the intended target, and now Focus reclaims possession. Fair to say this is a dynasty in a way, isn't it? I mean, they continue to dominate in every age division.
Yeah, there's no secret. They're very well trained. Their tactics are solid. Their passing game, it wears down their opponent, because if you get your opponent to run on their heels, then they're not going to be as quick and agile to your stick moves, looking up, that first look down the field, seeing what's available. You're catching your breath. And they're good at getting their opponents off of that rhythm.
Little fake pass to Draper. They go back to the far side and now try to work it up the field into the shooter circle area. And that one to the near post sign got knocked away. And we see the keeper for Focus really trying to make them have to take tough angles to get a shot in the direction of the net. And WC Eagles continuing to put on pressure after pressure here as they get another intercept, and that one's going to go sailing above the net and out of play. But they come at you in waves constantly here, and Focus
is stepping off of maybe the dangerous player when they're inside the circle. They had 7 back on that one. They had recovering runs, but they didn't have anyone looking over their shoulder seeing who was the dangerous player running in to be a tipper. If they were aware of that, they could intercept that ball and prevent it from going into the cage. I think WC has been successful at that finishing touch.
4-goal lead right now in this gold medal match. Stick around. We've got the bronze medal game coming up with Texas Pride from the Loyalty Division, 4-1 so far, taking on Freedom HKY, who's 3-1-1 from the Justice Division. Here's Focus deep into the attacking third area, but WC Eagles quickly sniffing it out, and they go back up ahead. That one ricocheted off looked like a stick. And now WC Eagles, you don't see them slow the tempo down much, but they might decide to do it here just to get back in sync with what they're trying to accomplish here as they move it to the near side.
And the umpires are allowing them to play. They're saying play on. They're not deeming it dangerous, which is keeping the flow of the game moving, making it more entertaining for everybody else.
Quick sub with 113, Ileana Moore from Midlothian, Virginia, coming in. As we've mentioned before, so many of these players for Focus have been suiting up for high school teams all around the state of Virginia. So some of the viewers out there might recognize the names and the players, as that one was touched by Alexandra Curtis, but only for a brief moment, because here comes WC Eagles, and she's got room to operate here in the circle. They finally able to clamp down, but not before a corner is awarded. Gina, this is the first one of the period for WC, is it not? I think it
no,
is.
they had
Second
one.
one. Second one. Yeah. So it's now 4. So here they come with the latest corner of this period with a 4-goal lead. That's right. That was the one that, of course, Opal was able to score off of with the missile.
Yeah.
If she has another one up her sleeve, I believe that's Draper who's putting it into play here. And that one got partially deflected out of play. One of the focus players got their stick on it, so they're able to dodge the bullet there on that sequence as we're under 90 seconds to go in this third period. Some may look at the score and say it's lopsided, but Focus has competed well with this WC outfit. It just really got away from them in the second quarter. I think, in all honesty, it's really been a 1-goal game if you took the segments of the first and the third.
Yeah, their connectivity was spot on in that quarter, in the second quarter.
And that's what the great teams tend to do sometimes. They have that stretch of play, in whatever sport it might be, where they can just, exert their dominance, their will. Their sheer will and dominance was shown in that period, and the teamwork with that.
Yeah, calling the push there.
So that will be. It's been a pretty clean game. We've not seen any cards. We've not seen any chippiness, if you will, which can sometimes happen when you get a gold medal or bronze medal on the line. I think a pretty good job by the officials. And of course, Jenna, your background, we've touched on it last week. You have the background of officiating and umpiring, so you know that in these games that you're cognizant of it when you're out there, that there's an extra level of intensity to it, and you want to let them play while having that intensity.
Yeah, we can get into that a little bit more after the quarter break here, coming 5-1. But these umpires are well versed; they're able to contain any kind of physicality.
Great point. That's what we call in the business a tease. Come on back. We won't tease you anymore. 5-1, WC Eagles leads as we head to the fourth and final stanza. Our game brought to you by Pain and Gain right here on Cova Sports TV. It's the USA National Club Championships brought to you by Harrow. Back in a bit.
Welcome to Lucky Oyster. The food is fresh and it's all coastal energy. From coastal favorites to wings, burgers, and more. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner with weekly specials and a can't miss happy hour. Our private room is perfect for holiday parties, birthdays, and team celebrations. Explore our in-house retail shop for our locally crafted goods. We proudly support local charities, schools, and sports teams throughout the year. Lucky Oyster, more than just seafood, it's a lifestyle.
Looking for next-level wellness, recovery, and longevity in coastal Virginia? Hydration IV and Wellness Spa in Virginia Beach delivers elite care. From IV hydration and vitamin injections like B12, glutathione, and NAD, to medical weight loss, recovery therapies, and advanced longevity treatments. We also offer Botox and aesthetic services so you can look as good as you feel. Enjoy a premium wellness experience with convenient mobile options. Optimize your health, elevate your wellness, extend your longevity. Visit hydrationiv.com, hydration spelled with an I, or download the Hydration app to book today.
Authentic Italian cuisine can be found in just one place in Hampton Roads, Il Giardino Ristorante in Virginia Beach. Il Giardino offers veal, seafood, chicken, pasta, vegetarian, and pizza creations. Add the sounds of the piano bar and lounge, and it's no wonder Il Giardino is such a popular local spot. Open daily at 5 p.m.
That's right. Give those great folks at Il Giardino a call at 757-422-6464. They've got some great food there, and they've been proud sponsors with us at Cova Sports TV of the Chicken Parm Field Hockey Player of the Week and the all the different things that Il Giardino Coach of the Week as well we've had for football in the past. So big shout out to them and all the great folks that are partners with us at Cova Sports TV. Our game today brought to you by Pain and Gain. It's the USA Field Hockey National Club Championships for the 19U division. It's presented by Harrow. The U14 gold medal went to WC Eagles. The U16 gold medal also went to WC Eagles. And a trend has been developed here. It's not developing. With Jenna Vinscoter on Matthew Hatfield, as WC Eagles has a 5-1 lead on top of Focus. But for a little more than a quarter, I mean, I'd say for about pretty much a whole half, this was a very interesting matchup because Focus had them sweating a bit. Not just because it's 81 degrees with a heat index near 90 out here at the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach as we watch WC Eagles go back to work here to begin this fourth and final stanza. But, Jana, they've been able to really do a lot of things well. Focus just hasn't had that second and third gear that this seasoned group of athletes for WC Eagles has, and nobody does. So that's no shame or knock, if you will.
Right. No, it's not. For all the teams, the 24 teams that have been here, these are the two at the very top. But also just like congratulations to all the teams to make it to the National Club Championships. It's a lot of work to get here. They are not in any kind of shadow for Focus. They've been energetic. They've been trying. They're doing different things, but they are running into that third, fourth gear, like you mentioned, with WC Eagles. But their pace, once they get into their rhythm, it's really difficult to unseat that.
Absolutely, and they've really been pretty even in the statistical department of penalty corners. I think just a slight edge for WC Eagles there. It might be like 4-3 or 5-3. The bottom line is in this matchup, and for a team that lost its opener, as we mentioned it, 2-1 in this event to LPFH, they've been able to respond with 4 victories in their last 4 games. WC Eagles had 35 goals, none allowed coming in as we watch them take their time here to try to get it closer to the net for a shot on goal. And that one going against the grain away from it got swiped out as the keeper was able to really give a tough angle to it from the post side there. But the last round was a 2-1 victory over Freedom HKY in the semis for Focus. We'll see them coming up in the bronze medal match. It might have been Reese Malone there. I think you're right there, Jana. And as for WC Eagles, a 5-0 victory that they had over Texas Pride, who will be taking on Freedom HKY in our bronze medal match coming up. But once again, the time of possession really been dominated by WC Eagles. Once you got past that last portion of the first quarter into the second period, they've really had control of the ball and possessing it, moving it around with efficiency. As that one's going to be halted by Focus once again to get them possession now.
Right now, you had mentioned before the break in terms of umpiring.
Yeah.
With this score being 5-1, and like you said, it may seem lopsided, but Focus is not out of the game. They are certainly in the game. When it comes to a game where maybe, let's say the score is like 2-1 and the physicality starts to creep up, you'll see that toward the end of a game. And that's when these umpires will look to their cards and they'll just try to control that, or they'll have a conversation. Prior to this game with both Freedom and Focus, one of the umpires pulled both captains aside with about a minute left in the clock, and it may have been an unpopular decision on his part. However, his job is to make sure that nothing, I mean, we've seen orbital injuries, we've seen concussions in an instant. I've been umpiring a game that in the last like 3 minutes, it's still tied and it's a corner and the ball will go right into a nose and it's just a fountain. Those are the things we're trying to prevent. So, like in a game like this, there is not much physicality. It's mostly based on skills and tactics, which is what we love to see. Even when you're not in a gold medal game, we still don't want to see any of these athletes going off the field with any kind of severe injury.
Yeah, very well put. And, you know, it goes back to the mission with USA Field Hockey, because even if the score is lopsided, in this case it's a 4-goal lead, we pretty much know what the outcome is most likely going to be here with WC Eagles on top. Is
right.
You know, these teams qualify through the regional club championships. They each get the right to participate for this event, and it's also, you know, you're constantly, it's an audition in a lot of ways, whether you're an athlete that's committed or not, but it's you're wanting to show what you can do for USA Field Hockey internationally. There are opportunities that are limitless for these young ladies that are competing, as we watch here on the move. Another chance to get on the board. That's the
nice
Draper. That's a Draper and Malone. I keep getting them mixed up with the pink shoes. I think that's Draper, if I'm not mistaken, with the pink out there, that shoes. But it could be Malone. It could be neither. But each, you know.
Yeah, the score is definitely lopsided, but the play is they're trying to stay in it as much as possible.
Sure. And this is really to maintain that mission piece that these athletes have coming in. Is you want to play to the final whistle till the triple zeros on the clock, because you're always being evaluated, as we see once again here. Another opportunity on the move for WC Eagles. Looked like that was.
She was trying to do a slow roller there.
48 on that. Double check that was 48. Beg your pardon, might have been 46 rather than Reese Malone in that one. The 6s and 8s tend to look alike, as that one's going to be bounced off the near post side area. We do see a trio of subs get ready to come in for WC Eagles, which include Kendall Longenberger as well as Cheyenne Green.
I remember seeing Reese Malone playing 3 years ago, and she has this signature baseline run that she struggled with, and I wouldn't even say struggled, but it was something that she hadn't perfected. And now it's just like, if it's a water-based situation, she's just not timid. She'll take it on. It's been fun to watch several of these athletes develop from U14 all the way up.
And that goes at the development pieces. We watch another corner here coming up. I mean, it must be something about the name Reese, because we got Reese Gone, we got Reese Malone. We've talked about Reese Diriano in the past, who's one of the top 10 players in the country, has been with WC Eagles, and is, certainly making her name beyond just this club program. And it's something that I think is harped on by the coaches at a young age, but it's when it gets through, the message gets through, and they see that, and the fruits of their labor comes out. That's the really rewarding part. That's, I think, for the athletes and those, as we get a change in keeper. Was that 33? I see 95 is coming out for Focus, and that's Viviane Chambers-Nagel. Might be Michaela. I'm not sure who the keeper was that came in there at that point, so I apologize, didn't quite catch the number on that. But with 5 minutes to go, just want to see what the other goalkeeper does here in these last moments, and also get a chance to say you played in a gold medal match. I think that means something to these, even the ones that aren't the household signature names maybe yet. Maybe they're going to get there one day, just to say you were out there and competed. It's a memory that can't be taken away from you, as we see back in number 22, subbed in for WC Eagles Sunday Draper, who was out for a brief moment.
Prior to the game, we were joking that I was over at, if you've been down to the training center, the regional training center, there's a Starbucks nearby. So I got the tea at the coffee shop from 4 Focus players, and they were just excited. They were really looking forward for this competition. They were going to do their best, and I still believe that inside their hearts and in their minds, that's what they're thinking.
Well, and a lot of them will go back and watch what went wrong. If you're a competitor, you know this as well as anybody covering it with Female Athlete News. And folks that want to check out all the great work Jana and the team are doing at Female Athlete News, go see it online at femaleathletenews.com. But, you always go back and say, it's what could we have done better? What could we have changed? Because sometimes just a play here, play there can be the difference. But how do you learn from it? As we watch coming in from the side here, Isabella Glenn out of Virginia Beach. And this is a hotbed for field hockey talent. You said it earlier, Jano, in Virginia Beach, some of the programs. Cox High School has won a record for Virginia High School state championships. Norfolk Academy, under Mary Werkheiser's leadership just a couple years ago, was ranked as high as number 1 in the country. We know how great the Hill is outside of Virginia, but there are some programs. Tab, which has got a record for wins in the state titles with the Trader Sisters, as we get on their corner coming up, that really have elevated the sport here in Virginia. And now you see even more of this elevation when you see some of the best around the country, and see where you can get better at.
That's their hope. That's their goal. And as they said to me, we just feel like we're Pennsylvania adjacent, but we're a field hockey state. And, you have Roanoke, you have indoor there, USA Field Hockey, you have the club championships, Nexus, Senior Nexus here, and they still want to be known not only for those associations with USA Field Hockey, but also for having high caliber clubs and high schools, as WC scores another. For sure. And we see that's with is that again 22 with the pink shoes? There's a couple of them with pink shoes. That might be Draper again. Pink shoes are popular.
Yeah, I see 2 with the pink shoes, but see if we can catch that. Which one is it? We see a substitution coming in, number 10 for WC Eagles, Cheyenne Green. So 6-1 as they increase their lead. And they've made the most of their corners today. But you saw that mantra of grow the game and succeed internationally. It goes all back to those bullet points, those message points, and with 2.5 minutes to go, WC Eagles in focus. They played a pretty clean game, though. This has not been a game
It's been
with
clean.
any issues from that regard. I think just the fatigue has set in for focus at this point because they've really done a nice job for much of this one, but now we're just running on fumes here in the heat and humidity.
Yes, it's the curse of playing against WC when they are able to pass more often than run, which makes them have fresh legs, even in spite of or despite of the substitutions. Their knowledge of passing the ball it's what wears out other teams.
Well, and it brings me back to the analogy I like to say in basketball as we get on the corner. They pass up a good shot for a better shot or a great shot. They make the extra pass.
Right.
They move it in a way where they get
one more look.
And yes, themselves and get you out of position or get you reaching where you don't need to be. And that one, we've seen Focus try a lot of things, whether it be just a tackle here, different things to see if they can disrupt WC Eagles. But laser-like focus for WC Eagles has helped them as they were able to really steer through the adversity they faced early in this match. To give Focus credit for that, they put them in
quarter.
Yeah, put them in a position where you got to the edge of your seat a little bit, saying, "No, do we have a story developing here?" And then they said, "No, you don't. We're going back to workmanlike what we do, and how we do it." So we ticked under a minute to go. We want to remind all of you out there watching on Cova Sports TV, and we appreciate you for tuning in. I know so many watching, some of their family members. We love hearing too from some of the grandmas and grandpas, uncles, aunts, cousins that are watching from all over the globe. And it's a neat keepsake for them too to go back and watch it, and then some of these athletes can go back and see themselves too. But we have the bronze medal match coming up for 19U with Texas Pride, who's 4-1, and Loyalty the Loyalty division, I should say, taking on the Freedom HKY outfit from the Justice division, 3-1-1. But then that should be an interesting bronze medal match coming up. The two teams that fell to these two in the semifinal round, as we're down to our final seconds. And I'll leave it to you, Jana, what your final thoughts are from this matchup, because this one had some really good moments, but we saw WC Eagles why they are who they are, right?
Yeah. Congratulations again to Focus. I'm a sucker for the underdog, and I think that they came here with a mentality that was positive. They put everything out on the field. But when you have such a strong WC team that has coalesced around the ball together for so long, they just know each other well in and well out. Focus deserves, applause. They deserve the silver that's around their neck. So congratulations to both squads.
I want to thank our entire team here from Cova Sports TV, Chuck Thornton, Nick Senti, Mackenzie Dickey on camera, and my partner, Jenna Benscoter from Female Athlete News. I am Matthew Hatfield. I also want to thank Madeline Rascone from USA Field Hockey and all the great folks from there that have helped make this possible. Congratulations, WC Eagles, champions yet again in U19 field hockey, 6-1 as they score 41 goals in this event. Surrender just won. They finish up 6-0. Focus, the silver medal. Job well done for them, too, as they conclude this event at 4-2. We're going to sign off for now, but we'll be back in a bit with the 19U bronze medal match. Texas Pride taking on Freedom HKY. Our broadcast has been brought to you by Pain and Gain and the USA National Club Championships, presented by Hera. We'll talk to you in a bit right here on Cova Sports TV.
Ready to take the next step in your manufacturing career? At Acoustical Sheet Metal Company, you're not just stepping into a role, you're building a career. We're hiring supervisors and assistant supervisors to lead teams, drive production, and grow into senior leadership. ASC offers reliable work, competitive benefits, training assistance, and real opportunities to grow. And it all happens in a culture built on safety, teamwork, and doing things the right way. The ASC way. Start your next chapter today at ascjobs.com.
You know when somebody has it, the thing that can't be coached. We see the same thing in the markets every day. Opportunity, we find it first, then we bring it to you. MarketWise, proud sponsor of USA Field Hockey. MarketWise-USA.com.
I grew up here. I know this town. I know the people here. More important, they know me. As a banker at Town Bank, we become part of the communities we serve. The people who bank with us, our members, know us. When you bank with Town Bank, you'll know your banker. You'll know you can reach us, and you'll know we're here for you.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
OneLifeFitness.com. We thank them for their partnership with us as we bring you the coverage of our USA Field Hockey National Club Championships from the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach. Our bronze medal match featuring Texas Pride taking on Freedom HKY. Alongside Jenna Ben-Scoter, I am Matthew Hatfield. Nick Senti, our camera producer, operator today. And Jana, Texas Pride 4-1. Believe they're in the white uniforms with the red shorts, if I'm not mistaken. And Freedom HKY in the red jerseys with the black shorts.
Yes.
All right. So we've got them squaring off here at the training centers. We just concluded our gold medal match, which featured WC Eagles beating Focus by a count of 6-1. And we'll give you the roster rundown for each team. But before we do all that, as we watch here in the early going, Texas Pride try to establish themselves here. 4-1 coming in, 15 goals scored, 3 allowed. And that was before the 5-0 loss to WC Eagles. 9 goals for Freedom HKY, 4 allowed. That does include the 2-1 loss that they suffered to Focus. Jana, any couple of players that you're keeping your eye peeled for here in this bronze medal match? I know you got a couple written down over there that we should watch out for that have bright futures ahead.
Bright futures in terms of what happens after this. This is the culmination of all their efforts for a club that they've played at U19. But we have Valentina Baizan. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. And then Nina Piazza, who they're both going to be playing at the FAH World Hockey Tournament that runs from August 21st to the 23rd. And is USA Field Hockey will be there representing the United States, obviously, at the World Cup in the Netherlands and Belgium. So excited for them to see where they go and how they contribute to today's game.
Really cool. We mentioned it with WC Eagles having those players that are getting a chance to play overseas internationally, and as part of the USA Field Hockey mantra, you see then in the letters back there on the fence of grow the game and succeed internationally. Make sure you follow USA Field Hockey, all the great things on Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you call it now, Facebook, and USAFieldHockey.com. Piazza is number 34 for Texas Pride, and Maizan is number 13 for Texas Pride. Who else do we need to watch out for Texas Pride? We'll give you the numbers now. They've got Sela Provenzano wearing number 72. That's a name I know I've called out before here on our broadcast on Kova Sports TV. Montgomery Ferguson, she's wearing 21. Sophia Rueg wearing 11. Catherine Rosser wearing 99. Umi Vanderven wearing 27. Annie Lee wearing 36 from Bel Air, Texas. The other ones we mentioned all from Houston, Texas, in the heart of the Lone Star State. You've got Blair Strachan, 35. Another name I know I've called out before. From Houston for Texas Pride, Kate Klesel wearing number 5, Lauren Walsh 57, Hannah Thomas 20, Harper Strachan, that's Blair's sister, 15, Harper Brown wearing 33, Jackie O'Donnell wearing 46, Grace Esseley wearing 39, also from Houston, Texas, Ella Neff wearing 16, Gracie Crawford 22, Josephine Van Houten wearing number 47 as we go back there to retrieve the ball for Texas Pride. Looked like that might have been Grace Esela, rather. Julia Clayton, number 31 from Spring, Texas. Kate Lahody from Houston wearing 14. Ellie Lewis wearing 12. Parker Allen wearing 76. And Annalise Swanson wearing 70. That rounds out the roster for Texas Pride. We'll tell you the names of note for Freedom HKY in a moment as we're almost halfway through this opening frame. It's just flying by here. And while the possession has been more on this side of the field here with Texas Pride, Freedom HKY not letting them get that early goal to do a dent in the confidence that they've got in this one, Jana, because 3-1-1 coming in. They've played some close games. They're no strangers to games going on the wire and maybe even requiring the shootout, if you will.
Freedom just had that situation with who we just saw in focus in the gold medal match. They took it down to the wire, but possession was about even in that game. Right now, Texas is pressing just a little bit higher, and Freedom is trying to find their structure in the back. It might take a few minutes just to adjust to each other's style before they really give them a little bit more pressure coming from the backfield from Freedom.
We just saw Nina Piazza a moment ago there on your screen with possession for Texas Pride. Freedom HKY, give you their numbers of note, and all of their players coming from the states of Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and they, believe it or not, unless this is a typo on the roster here, I'm seeing, Jana, they got one player from Texas on their roster, Freedom HKY does. And that player is actually Winifred Hughes, number 34 from Houston, Texas. The player from Washington, D.C. is Julie Seth, wearing 83. As far as the ones from Virginia, coming to you in different order now here. Vera Shindanadan from Centerville, Virginia, 52. I know we've done her games in the past. Out of Oakton, Virginia, you got Marissa Rubano wearing 6 and Daniela Rubano wearing 1. And then you also have from Virginia, actually I think that's going to round it out for the Virginia players for Freedom HKY. They'll give all the Maryland names in just a moment. Here as we're nearing the 5.5 mark of our first half.
It says a sampling of the Mid-Atlantic and Deep South.
Very much so, as we see the filling out process here in the first part of this opening frame. As Texas Pride, look like they got the name plates below the numbers. I actually dig that style there with the names below the numbers. And we see the dish over to Gracie Crawford.
That would help a recruiter who you're trying to put the number with the name and a face.
Certainly helps as they evaluate and watch. And we see trying to continue to attack here. Before I give you the rest of the Freedom HKY names from the state of Maryland here with this entry coming in from Freedom HKY, 68, Stevie Schultz from Westminster, Maryland. How much early in the game, Jenna, do you think staying on the attack is important, or can you play a little bit of the possum and kind of get a sense of what's going on before you really ratchet up the aggressiveness?
A lot of coaches ascribe to different timing policies. So some of them will say, let's score in the first minute, some in the first 2 minutes. I think those first 2 minutes, really, they try to set the tone. From there, they do kind of settle into our style. Both teams are always going to be going back and forth and trying to enforce their style of play on the other, but those first 2 minutes, oftentimes coaches want to try to crack the cage right away.
So we mentioned 3 players from Virginia, 1 from D.C., 1 from Texas, 18 from the state of Maryland. We told you one of them is Stevie Schultz, number 68, as we watch a substitution now for Texas Pride with the clock ticking under 4 minutes to go in this opening frame. The rest of them from Freedom HKY consist of Ellicott City's Jane Baldy. She's wearing number 18. Cockeysville's Sarah Sugarman wearing 23 for Freedom HKY. Paige Moger hails from Frederick. She's wearing number 36 for Freedom HKY. Addison Lamb wearing 51 from Stevensville. You have also from Stevensville, Maryland, 46 Finley Davidson and Lily Snyder. Snyder's wearing number 17. From Crofton, Maryland is Jacqueline Kerner wearing number 26 for Freedom HKY. Out of Arnold, Maryland is number 7, Catherine Ember. From Owings Mills, Maryland, Gabrielle Cathari wearing 22. Isabella Chardiette hails from Annapolis. She wears number 69. Savannah Parks, represented by Ava Swartz, number 21, and her sister, Olivia Swartz, wearing number 31. Emerson Clark wearing number 4 from Severna Park. Also from Severna Park is number 99, Lala Dupkik. And out of Odenton, Maryland, Stella Farr wearing 67. And rounding out the Maryland contingency for Freedom HKY is none other than Alyssa Lewis wearing number 57. Alyssa Lewis, as Texas Pride continues to press on. We've yet to get a corner in this one, haven't we? No corners
Not
yet.
yet, yes.
But-
You have a circle entry, and there's the corner.
And it just as I said that, they heard me.
Yep.
And here comes our first corner, coming with just over 2.5 minutes to go in this first period. We'll see if it can pay off for Texas Pride. As this one will be started by Josephine Van Houten, number 47. Good feed. And that one's going to be a sliding effort as we see the keeper there able to slide over for Freedom HKY. I believe that is Jane Baldy as the keeper. Just over 1.5 minutes to go in his first half. A couple more subs. Baldy headed to the University of Delaware. She's played 8 years in the sport of field hockey, 7 as a goalie, and majoring in human physiology. So here comes our second corner of the opening frame with Texas Pride's Josephine Van Houten. Baldy was the Centennial Field Hockey Player of the Year, just short of 900 saves in her career with an 87.4% save percentage. That's darn good there.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll see if she can step up again and keep a goal from being put on the board. You see the shift there and almost had the little short dump off right there in the post, but it does wiggle away with a little over 30 seconds to go in this first quarter. So 2 chances for Texas Pride. They've yet to break the ice.
The only caution that I would throw there is that the one defender, it was hard to see if it was like the turf monster that got her and she tripped herself, or if she put herself in the line of fire of the ball, which is what you don't want to do.
Those turf monsters have gotten a lot of players here.
Yeah.
Football, field hockey, lacrosse, and soccer. Be it the surface here or right next door at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. Those turf monsters sometimes can. That's why I don't play these sports. They do damage to you out there, I tell you.
Yes.
1 quarter's in the books in the 19U USA National Club Field Hockey Championships presented by Harrow. We're scoreless between Freedom HKY and Texas Pride, but come on back for the second quarter right here on Cova Sports TV.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
Grow the game.
Grow the game.
Grow the game.
Grow the game!
Grow the game.
Grow the game.
Grow the game.
Grow the game.
Big thanks to Capelli Sport. Find them on the web at capellisport.com. The latest sportswear and teamwear apparel, fitness and training equipment, shoes, and so much more. Scoreless after one period of play in the U19 Field Hockey USA National Club Championships. Texas Pride and Freedom HKY. It's presented by Harrow, and you're watching with us on Cova Sports TV. Alongside Jenna Benskoner, I am Matthew Hatfield. Jenna, this has been a pretty evenly played match to this point. A couple of corners that came up empty for Texas Pride. Freedom HKY has not gotten a lot of possession time, but when they can get near the middle part of the field, they're on the 50s. Texas Pride, has not really shown that they can take them away from what they want to do. So we'll see if this will persist here to where we get closer to halftime. I don't think we're going to see as much in terms of scoring opportunities as we saw in the last game where WC Eagles was able to cruise to a victory 6-1 over Focus. Is that a fair thought coming in?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I mean, we're being speculative right now because at any point we've seen these games before where one team will dominate and they'll maintain possession for a large part of a quarter or a half, and then the other team just runs right down and scores. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's suspenseful. You have a 50-50 chance right now, still fair game, level playing field. So we'll see what happens.
Pass to the near side as Texas Pride tries to get momentum on its side. Up the field they work it. Like that possession was getting away from them on that sequence with Gracie Crawford, number 22.
Both Freedom and Texas Pride have earned some medals here at the National Club Championships, with Texas recently being in some of the final games as well in the championship games, the bronze medal game. And Freedom, they have collectively in each of bronze medal and silver, gold, they've earned a few more. So they're ranked third nationally for receiving medals. And I think this would be one of their most recent ones if they're able to win the bronze here today.
So we now see
I don't
a
believe
corner
either
coming
team,
up.
though, has a gold.
Yeah, corner coming up now with Grace Esela getting ready to put this into play. You see number 39 on the screen, and Piazza, 34 in the middle part of your screen as well. Could be very much involved in this opportunity as a playmaker. They go away from Piazza's side. That one just got away, the little touch pass, the intended target. They still have possession, though, as they were just outside the circle. And then that one's going to take a bounce away out of play off the fence. But Freedom HKY did a really good job making them have to reverse their sequence.
Yeah, but then they countered with a reverse shot, which was real pretty. It was on the ground, just too wide.
Far side, a little bit of a double team maneuver, and Freedom HKY has not gotten into Texas Pride territory a ton here in this first half.
Just that one deep run.
But as you mentioned earlier, Jana, all it takes is one little deep run here to change the flow.
Yeah.
We're seeing some more of the clamp down double teams being applied from Texas Pride to see if they can disrupt Freedom HKY. Freedom Hockey now relinquishing possession over to Texas Pride and trying to stretch them out to the near side. That one goes over to number 34, Nina Piazza.
And Piazza will be heading over to the FIH World Youth Hockey Tournament. It's such an exciting time. I was able to talk to one of the athletes who was heading over there, and she said that she does feel special. The roster number is relatively small. I mean, it's 18. It's a travel roster, one that you would be on an elite squad. So that's truly exciting, and that's a really great mark of improvement for Texas Pride to be able to also offer these opportunities to get to be noticed.
Of course, that's a big deal to these young ladies competing just to get seen, to get that opportunity and see the benefits from it. And while we were watching the middle portion of this first half continue on with Freedom Hockey and Texas Pride, we heard some roars and some cheers from WC Eagles getting their team picture and celebrating, and they got the gold medal earlier. It is on their schedule year after year that they're going to be in the championship game. But these are a couple of programs, much like we saw earlier with Focus, that are trying to knock them off their pedestal, off their perch, if you will. And, you know, even for those that are watching in the younger divisions, I think that's an important thing, too. When you have a club program, whatever it is, some of the players, even from that U14, U16 level, they're seeing some of these older girls as role models for them. Yeah. How do you then take the things they're doing and apply it to your game and try to do it even better?
Right, and as I had mentioned, the Focus player, her teammate was saying she couldn't wait to watch her teammate play internationally and then come back and also teach. So setting that example, regardless of year, if it's the same year, I think they're both juniors, but regardless, when you see a senior and they have committed, they're about to go off to college, yeah, you have these younger eyes watching you. They're always trying to see what you're doing, and also they just see relationship-wise what you do on the squad, building a culture.
It all matters for sure as we took under 6 minutes to go in this first half. You see the sign there for NLV Productions and NLVProductions.com. A lot of footage available up there. So many great things. We mentioned, I think, last week as part of our broadcast coverage, Dana, that the vendors out here, I mentioned it's like the shopping malls, the one-stop shop. You can get caught up with all the different places. It can be black out here. It can be this place, it can be that place, and different things you stop in.
It's so convenient. I mean, if something happens to your stick, you need to replace your grip, or you need something new, you need a pair of gloves. It's awesome that they're right there, that you can go visit them.
So many great people associated with this event, with USA Field Hockey. And you see the black sign blowing a little bit in the wind. That wind's got to feel good in a hot day like this, but we get our third corner now. This one's going to be number 13 trotting out there to initiate it at Valentina Mizon, who you touched on in the open, the Stanford commit. Lay the stick down for a teammate. That one takes a hop. And we see a good sliding maneuver there from the goalkeeper for Freedom HKY, the aforementioned Jane Baldy, the Delaware commit, who was not going to give them that little window to try to squeeze it through. Moved her feet well as we hit the 4.5-minute mark of the second quarter. Freedom Hockey here at midfield. Again, this is where they've kind of had Texas Pride, I wouldn't say playing the impatient game, because they are able to get possession back now and they're just fine, but that's where they kind of have them back on their heels a little bit, where they can get to that spot. Now it's just a matter of, can they get closer toward the attacking third? And we got another corner coming up for Texas Pride. So they're getting a lot of chances here against Baldy, but she's not budging too much. You did mention, though, earlier in one of the corners a little bit ago that they had that counter, and you wonder if they'll try to go back to that, perhaps, if they can keep the possession going long enough here. So this time it'll be for Texas Pride, number 47, that will start things off. That's Josephine Van Houten, who had the first couple of ones before Piazza was the one on the entry. $82 here on this Tuesday, the final one of June 2026 at the RTC, the Regional Training Center. Able to turn, and what a job there to send that one through by Gracie Crawford with 3:15 to go in the first half. And just like that, Texas Pride is on the board with a 1-0 lead on Freedom Hockey.
It makes their work all the world worth it. Like that, you've been maintaining possession, and it can be very defeating when you've had possession for that long and not find the hole. And she found the gap. She went in that reverse, and it wasn't full of power, but she found a little bit of a slow roller in there.
Very effective nonetheless, and headed to University of Virginia to play her field hockey at the next level. Gracie.
UVA.
Wahoo. And a lot of UVA fans, I'm sure, out there liking it and watching. So Gracie Crawford.
We'll find out if Freedom is one of those programs you get scored on and they have to come right back and answer that. They don't. They wake up from being pushed back on their heels immediately.
Working this far sideline here now.
Somewhat encroaching on her 5.
Yeah. That one got partially deflected, it looked like, but they're still advancing forward. And one of their first times, maybe the first time, in fact, they've been inside the shooter circle, and then it was knocked out quickly with Texas Pride.
Yeah, it's a quick transition. They do like the 3D skills. They're putting it up in the air and air dribbling.
And that one's going to roll out of play on the sideline. But a quick recovery from Texas Pride there after they were about to be in trouble for a second. And now the reset with number 21, Montgomery Ferguson from Houston. Slides it over to a teammate. See if she'll get it back here. She relocates into the circle. But you see the traffic there, but the red shirts from Freedom HKY preventing any chance. And now Freedom going to try to get something building before halftime. That was really their best opportunity, it felt like, of the half moments ago. We do have a call here.
It's a green card. She's calling for stick obstruction. Freedom was building herself some space, and now she was doing it and continuously moving. She kept the ball on her stick, and so she was getting stick obstructed. They clearly want to get that right from the start, make sure that they stop doing it, or try to stop doing it.
So with that, we see Freedom HKY 21, I believe, was the number.
They'll be down for 2 minutes.
So
Freedom
that
has the
would be
opportunity.
Ava Swartz. Yep. Ava Swartz is the one with that card. So I'm sorry, beg your pardon. That was Montgomery Ferguson of Texas Pride. Yeah, so that.
You're good.
Yep. I'm looking at the wrong 21 there. They both wear red, folks, but it's the red shorts for Texas Pride and the red tops for Freedom HKY. And we've reached halftime. And it's the team with the white tops and the red shorts. Texas Pride on top, 1-0, thanks to Gracie Crawford's goal moments ago here in the second quarter. You see Harrow, they're the ones bringing you this USA National Club Championship, the 19U division. And our stream here on Cova Sports TV is brought to you by Pain and Gain. Jana and I will step aside. We'll come back with the second half from steamy Virginia Beach, Virginia on this final day of June. Right here in just a bit.
Same as lame. Field hockey players have stick. They've got vibe. They've got that tuning fork in their hearts that goes off when a ball thumps the backboard of a goal. Field hockey is for the mold breakers, the convention challengers, the trailblazers, people who think outside the box and come alive inside the circle. Sure, there will always be those who mindlessly take the road more traveled, think the same, do the same, play the same. Field hockey players know that the strength of the pack is the wolf, and that the strength of the wolf is the pack. We know we're different, and we're proud of it. It's how we stand out. It's how we fit in. Like eagles, we soar individually, yet value family and togetherness highly. Join us. We're the minority of millions that get it. There's a stick waiting to be picked up, lifelong friendships to be made, goals to be a part of, victories, defeats, draws, and more. Stories to be told with you, by you, of you. There's a field hockey team waiting to be called yours. Game on. Dare to differ.
You've watched enough field hockey to know when somebody has it, the thing that can't be coached. That's what our analysts wake up every morning to do. Find what's coming to the stock market before everyone else is talking about it. We find the next big trends in finance, then we bring them to you. MarketWise, proud sponsor of USA Field Hockey, because the best investments in athletes and in markets start with knowing what to look for. See for yourself at marketwise-usa.com.
Pain and Gain, your one-stop shop for all things field hockey. Located in Princess One Shopping Center, Virginia Beach, we carry everything you need on the turf, from black sticks, turf shoes, mouth guards, and much more. Try out your stick before you buy in our synthetic turf area. Pain and gain. Embrace the pain, enjoy the game.
Life moves fast, but when that Freddy's hits, you can't help but slow down. Freddy's, this is the good stuff.
With 4 Hampton Roads area locations, Freddy's is just a short trip away.
I'm Mike Rowe. Welcome to the most honest commercial you're going to see all day.
Today, we're fixing sagging floors.
The problem is that moisture that we're trying to control has gotten to the wood already, and it's called this side of the home to drop. So if you have cracks around your door frame, if you have those squeaky floors or bouncy floors, most of the time we can fix that.
Get a free and honest inspection with JES Foundation Repair, a groundworks company.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
Ready to take the next step in your manufacturing career? At Acoustical Sheet Metal Company, you're not just stepping into a role, you're building a career. We're hiring supervisors and assistant supervisors to lead teams, drive production, and grow into senior leadership. ASC offers reliable work, competitive benefits, training assistance, and real opportunities to grow. And it all happens in a culture built on safety, teamwork, and doing things the right way. The ASC way. Start your next chapter today at ascjobs.com.
To like $3. And we're back here on Cova Sports TV. It's the 19U National Club Field Hockey Championships bronze medal match. Texas Pride, Freedom HKY. Texas Pride up 1-0 in this one here from the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach. Alongside Jana Benscoter, I am Matthew Hatfield. A goal scored from Gracie Crawford, the Virginia signee, late in the first half. Jana, your thoughts on what we saw in the first half and what we may see here in the remaining 2 quarters of play?
Texas just doesn't want their ball in danger in a scoring position. So defensively, they've just kept it out of their defensive side. And I think that at halftime, their coaches can really get them going and focus. So it's still anyone's game.
It is the bronze medal. It's not the gold medal, which was won earlier today by WC Eagles 6-1 over Focus. If you missed that, you can go back on Cova Sports TV and just scan through it like YouTube. That's the great thing. You just scan through and see the parts you want, the highlights you want. Nonetheless, Jana, this still matters to these athletes that are competing that fell to those 2 teams in the semifinals right today, because you want to get a medal and go home with something, don't you?
Yeah, and I think a lot of these athletes, they're here for improvement too. I mean, they've had so much time on their respective club with their teammates. Several of them call them sisters, consider them families. So being here at the very end, if it's bronze or gold, it's very meaningful and thoughtful to them.
You and your team do a great job at femaleathletenews.com covering and chronicling, documenting the stories for these athletes and their journeys, which people can check out online. As you interview them and watch them play, and you mentioned the word improvements, what are the main things that are the emphasis for that? There are certainly different skills that they can have individually, but also playing within the team concept. What are kind of the points of emphasis when it comes to the progress part?
There are multiple. You have like the tiny details, which that's subjective depending on how you coach them, from reception to trapping the ball, making sure your set pieces on corners are creative and executed, that everyone's on the same page, communication. Those are things that happen with repetition and then when being challenged at the highest level.
First half, we saw Texas Pride get, by my count, I think at least 5 corners. We did not get any for Freedom HKY, yet they only trail it by 1. So even though the possession time, the field positioning, a lot of things were dominated, be it statistically or just in general, from Texas Pride, Freedom Hockey is still in this game very much so, as they're in the red unis going from right to left. Check that, now they're going from left to right, beg your pardon. They were going right to left earlier. And we're still looking to see if Freedom Hockey can get a couple of its main contributors on track here. We mentioned the Swartz sisters, Ava and Olivia Swartz, but also in addition to them, they've got Vera Shandanan from Centerville, Virginia, who we've watched before in previous USA Field Hockey events shine. And we know with Texas Pride, a couple of the players that you mentioned in the outset were Valentina Bazan and Nina Piazza. Piazza wearing 34, and in the case of Valentina Vaizan wearing 13, but really Gracie Crawford is right now at the moment, she's the one that scored, maybe your POG, your player of the game, if you will, yet you never know who that unsung hero that's going to step through in these final 2 quarters and make a name for themselves here on this big stage. Far side here, it's going to be navigated up the field here. Chance for Texas Pride to maybe earn another corner. It's going to go sailing out of play by the USA Field Hockey signage on this warm and toasty Tuesday. Final day of June, Independence Day weekend coming up. A lot of families love to celebrate the 4th of July. You were just saying during our break, Jana, that's the 250th anniversary.
250, looking good at 250.
For our country, yes, yes indeed. I'm sure a lot of folks going to enjoy their time on the grill, some hamburgers, some hot dogs, and everybody loves the fireworks. Here it is, Chance in the shooter circle.
You know, from year to year, these squads, they change. Their chemistry changes and positions shift if you're a defensive center back or you move up to midfield or whatever. I think one thing about Freedom for me is that they've always been aggressive to the ball. I think that Texas is taking a little bit of that away from them, being able to read it quicker in anticipation.
And then you also wonder just a little bit when you play a game against WC Eagles, so they beat you 5-0, you see that speed that they play with and precision. How much that helps for the next match because you just had that. It's one of those things you hear all the time in sports. You really can't simulate that in practice until you're out there on the playing surface against it. There's a battle for it, and you see number 21 there for Texas Pride, able to come forward with that. That's Montgomery Ferguson. Going to stretch out Freedom Hockey here with under 7.5 minutes to go in our 3rd quarter.
They're just a little flat with their numbers right here. I would be dropping back several so that if the ball did go in an angle, you'd be able to read it quickly. If the through pass was there, you'd be able to get to it faster than Pride.
I see the sprinting from a couple of Texas Pride players. Hannah Thomas, one of those that was sprinting a moment ago, number 20. Here's Freedom HKY on the move. A little shake maneuver, then going backwards to hit it, and against the grain, it goes popping out of play as the keeper was able to get in the area to deny. They pass it to right. That one just out of reach of the intended target. It was not on point. Going to use that near sideline, but running out of space was Texas Pride.
It's just that type of basic instinct that we saw with WC. Like when she's peeling away, she knows where the ball is going to go. And in this case, she had her back entirely to her. So it's just like those.
And look at that with the keeper having to come all the way out. Baldy, we see it result in a corner. That was about to be 2-0. You could see the danger that was coming up there. And Baldy, a little disappointed there at that sequence.
But they build it not so much in the backfield as in that 50 to 23 on the opposite side of the field. They built it from back there and brought it all the way in to get their corner.
Really did. You could just see how it was brewing. So we got number 13 for Texas Pride. That's going to be, well, I'll tell you who it is, but I don't see it.
The defender laid herself out entirely to block the shot. That is absolutely a stroke.
So our first penalty stroke of this matchup.
That's a daring
Now, I
defender.
can't speak for, I wasn't here for Saturday's U16 that you did with Isaac, Jana, but this might be the first stroke we've had in any of the gold or bronze medal matches. Did you have any on Saturday? I don't think we did last week. Yeah,
no,
so this
you're
is our
right.
first.
Yes.
So here's number 31, Julia Clayton, with this one-on-one chance. It's she and Baldy's. Got that glove up high on the left side. And it goes right behind her. Snuck it in. Oh, that sneaky Julia Clayton to make it 2-0. So Gracie Crawford got them on the board first, and now Julia Clayton adds to it with the stroke to make it 2-0 in favor of Texas Pride. Texas Pride not trying to let up at all.
Yeah, on their self-starts, they're at that 5-meter mark. They've given them space for it, but they're still asking for the ball turned and face to them. Those are some of the mechanics, those little details that will make a huge difference. That's something that Freedom missed just a few times when they had possession, and it gives it up. It's a turnover right away.
Those small details you touch on, how much are those really hammered home? We've had this week, in the last 9 days, we talked about it, just a great thing here with this USA Field Hockey National Club Championships, the U14, U16, U19 division. By the time you get to U19, it's pretty much ingrained into it, I would think, to a large extent, as we see another corner coming up for Texas Pride. The U14, they're the neophytes. They're the babies at it trying to get established. Is it really kind of that middle range where you kind of get those details, those small little points kind of hammered in? Or that transformation starts to happen more there in the middle portion?
At U16, you'll start. I did speak with Brian Tyson too the last time at U16, and he was mentioning how there is a big jump from U14 to U16 in terms of like their hockey IQ. Not saying that their talent isn't there, but you're more established. You're a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, U19, for them to be maybe overlooking some of these small details could lend itself to be heat, tired, that kind of, those types of things that are fading in or fading them out.
Corner from the far side.
Oh, nice move.
Passed it to the right. Now trying to stay with it. Freedom HKY had possession for a brief second, and then it goes back to Texas Pride as it was wrestled out of the circle area. Now Texas Pride with the passing of one Kate Lahode. That's number 14 on your screen. Lahode there in the middle right now, in fact. But it's going to go back to Freedom Hockey here with under 2 minutes to go in our third quarter. Our broadcast today brought to you by the wonderful people at Pain and Gain. Embrace the pain, enjoy the game. You can find them on the web for more, and you'll hear more from them as our broadcast moves along. Before we get ready to head to break here with just a little over a minute to go in the third quarter. Texas Pride now with possession. Gracie Crawford, who scored the game's first goal, gets rid of it. And I think you talked about this earlier too, Jana, is that sometimes we get so caught up on the scores, but being a distributor, one that can help set up somebody to score, can be equally important.
Absolutely. Without those players, you really would have no mobility. You'd be stuck in a maybe 4x4 square going nowhere. The distributors are looking through and flat and back, and they're trying to build anything from a diamond to a triangle to ensure that you get that shot right there.
Oh, what a nice job.
Corner.
How much was that on point? We see the hugs all around there. Involved in it was Ella Lewis, number 12, and it's 3-0. How about that goal there? 3-0 with under a minute to go. believe that was Ellie Lewis on the assist. So now we see Montgomery Ferguson. That was a highlight reel play there, Jana. She just did an awesome job to make that happen.
Yeah, very fluid. I mean, that happened in under 30 seconds.
And right there again, we see defensively stepping into it was Montgomery Ferguson, number 21, and she's going to be just the pest to Freedom HKY as we head to the fourth and final stanza. This was a 1-0 game when Gracie Crawford scored, but Julia Clayton as well as Ellie Lewis have helped increase the lead for Texas Pride. We go to the last period here in this U19 National Club Championships with USA Field Hockey, the bronze medal match presented by Harrow, and we'll come back with the finishing touches right here after this on Cova Sports TV.
Welcome to Lucky Oyster. The food is fresh and it's all coastal energy. From coastal favorites to wings, burgers, and more. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner with weekly specials and a can't miss happy hour. Our private room is perfect for holiday parties, birthdays, and team celebrations. Explore our in-house retail shop for our locally crafted goods. We proudly support local charities, schools, and sports teams throughout the year. Lucky Oyster, more than just seafood, it's a lifestyle.
Looking for next-level wellness, recovery, and longevity in coastal Virginia? Hydration IV and Wellness Spa in Virginia Beach delivers elite care. From IV hydration and vitamin injections like B12, glutathione, and NAD, to medical weight loss, recovery therapies, and advanced longevity treatments. We also offer Botox and aesthetic services so you can look as good as you feel.
Authentic Italian cuisine can be found in just one place in Hampton Roads, Il Giardino Ristorante in Virginia Beach. Il Giardino offers veal, seafood, chicken, pasta, vegetarian, and pizza creations. Add the sounds of the piano bar and lounge, and it's no wonder Il Giardino is such a popular local spot. Open daily at 5 p.m.
Ready to take the next step in your manufacturing career? At Acoustical Sheet Metal Company, you're not just stepping into a role, you're building a career. We're hiring supervisors and assistant supervisors to lead teams, drive production, and grow into senior leadership. ASC offers reliable work, competitive benefits, training assistance, and real opportunities to grow. And it all happens in a culture built on safety, teamwork, and doing things the right way. The ASC way. Start your next chapter today at ascjobs.com.
And we're back here. Not double trouble, double 12s. 3-0. Texas Pride on top of Freedom HKY here in the U19 USA Field Hockey National Club Championships bronze medal match presented by Harrow. Matthew Hatfield here alongside the one and only Jenna Benscoter from Female Athlete News. Got to shout out another one of my partners I've had the pleasure of working with over the years who's watching on the YouTube and comment on the chat. The one and only Terry Sawyer, one of the best in the business. Done fishing over the years. So I'm glad Terry's tuning in. See you on the chat. So hi, Terry. Thank you for tuning in. But Jenna, we've witnessed some really quality athletes here from the gold medal match earlier today with WC Eagles prevailing 6-1 over Focus. And now in this bronze medal match, we're starting to see Texas Pride show what they're all about here with a number of key contributors to stretch their lead from 1-0 late in the first half to really having that comfortable 3-goal advantage.
Yeah, and I feel like you need to explain double 12s.
Well, our awesome producer, engineer extraordinaire, Nick Senti in here, when this goal was scored by Ellie Lewis, or perhaps assisted by Ellie Lewis, we don't know here, there was 2 12s, and he was convinced of it. But he went back, and you can do this while you're watching us live or later archived, and there are 2 12s. I wasn't sure if he was dyslexic for a moment and thought it was Montgomery Ferguson, 21. But, in fact, that does happen. And as we mentioned, and this is full disclaimer, folks, sometimes we are presented with rosters, and there are number changes. So I'm not sure, perhaps one of the 12s was wearing a different number during the game and something happened to the jersey. I have no idea.
Yeah,
Stuff like that does happen.
It does happen.
Blood gets on jerseys. Things happen.
Yeah.
So
you grab your closest, nearest one. And
I just know this much. Ellie Lewis was involved in the play, whether she scored it or assisted it. So a shout out to her because she was a playmaker, which is goes back to a lot of our theme of the third quarter part of our broadcast here is scores, distributors, who's going to help do the things that matter. Spin. That was a beautiful spin move. Got away from the defender.
Yeah, one thing just to kind of circle back to what you were saying about Pride versus Freedom, obviously here in the bronze medal, is that Pride is very well known for its goalies, goalkeepers that they make, and I think what they're doing right now is also carving out some space and showing their attack and their offensive line.
Well, let's touch on that for a moment here as we get the entry from the side here now for Texas Pride. Shutouts, we hear about it all the time, be it high school, club, USA Field Hockey, you name it, whatever level, college players. And we mentioned the save percentage earlier for Baldy and the different things of that nature. How much, when you get to something of this caliber, is the shutout? You know, you can win 5-1 or 4-1 or 3-0, 3-1. How much are the keepers in their brains right now? And you could be the ones giving up a couple goals. Are you thinking, I got to get the shutout, or I got to keep this damage to whatever it is? How much is it, especially in the final minutes? We see it all the time, even in professional hockey, how much is talked about how that goalkeeper can be the difference in any kind of championship run. What do you think about their mindset, the mentality in this type of environment, be it gold medal match, bronze medal match, USA Field Hockey? Because really, eyes are on you if things are going well, and eyes are on you if things aren't going well a lot of times.
I'm not trying to minimize this as a one-word answer, but trust, right? You need to trust your back line. When your back line is under pressure, it's a corner attack penalty corner, you need to have your defensive penalty unit prepared, ready, and also just like watching what they're doing as far as like power hits. And you can't solve all the problems real quickly and see what needs to be done, but if you listen to your keeper and she calls for the ball and you go for it, it could be an unintentional goal for the opposite team. So it boils down to a lot of trust. Like I said, not trying to minimize it to one word, but when you have that connection with your back line, it stops goals.
No, I think it's so absolutely on point by you, Janet, because I think of it too in terms of baseball, or in the case with the females competing softball.
Yes.
That catcher and pitcher, that trust they have with each other, that connection is such a big deal in how a game is, how it's managed, how it's handled, and it can mean everything sometimes. But here with us, 8 minutes to go, it's been an excellent job for Texas Pride. There hasn't been as much traffic in front of the keeper for Pride as it is in the case for Baldy here, as we see another chance here for Texas Pride to, if they can get a stop, to put more pressure on them as they do right there again. How about that play? Just the quick reaction time. Is that number 24 again for Texas Pride? I think that is indeed. We'll get a double check here when she turns. Did a super job, though, just to react to that.
It's a high stick tackle. Those can be a little bit risky sometimes. So that's very good hand coordination.
Yeah, the risk reward has been paying off for Texas Pride here in the second half. We've yet to see Freedom HKY get a corner. I don't think in this game at all, let alone this half. I don't think they've gotten a corner yet. I think that speaks to how they've been able to bounce back from the loss they had to WC Eagles in the semifinals, 5-0. Now let's give some credit to the coaches too, because when you take a loss in the semifinals, it can be a little demoralizing. Yeah, you're still playing for the bronze medal, but you wonder about how much focus and motivation, how much hunger is there, and they've shown it here in the second half without question with a 3-0 lead, and they've been pretty much in command. Good elusive move there to keep it away from both defenders in the area. Running into your screen is one of the number 12s. Actually, we see both of them now. Mm-hmm. One of them is Ellie Lewis.
Yeah, that is facts.
Yep, confirmed there. Nick feels validated or vindicated. Yeah. Maybe both. Validated and vindicated as we tick near 6 minutes to go. I really do think it was a jersey switch. It had to have been. Something happened in the first half of the players' jersey. That's my only answer to that, because you don't generally see that ever. Pass over to number 19. And that one got away. Freedom Hockey, though, getting to this point after losing to Focus 2-1 in the semifinals. And there for Texas Pride is Kate Lahode. Really doing a nice job of minimizing the opportunities for Freedom Hockey here, Jana. They've not gotten much of anything to look at here in the second half to even give them the belief they were going to come back and make this a tight finish when it looked like for a good portion of the first half this was going to be a game that went down to the wire. And here's going to be is this the first corner? I think it is, yes, of the game for Freedom Hockey.
And they can manage the clock. They still have time. We've talked about this before in some of the other championship or bronze medal games, but they can score 3 goals in 90 seconds. There's no doubt. Like, we've seen it all across the country at high school games, club games, college games. Once they find their spark, it could be enough to set them off.
Indeed, and Daniela Rubano, number 1 from Oakton, could be looking for her sister Marissa. She's going to have to be the one that starts this. Takes a ricochet, a bounce, and they got one through, just as you said. It's going to be scored. 3-1 is our count. As they get on the board, courtesy of number 22, Gabriella Cathari out of Owings Mills, Maryland. Cathari in the right place at the right time there for that scoring play. Now do they have a second one? You have that breathing room with 2 goals, which you don't want if you're Texas Pride, is to let down your guard and make this a nail-biting situation in the final 60 to 120 seconds. Is this too early to play keep away and go into more of a stall type of tactic here, as they'll have this possession here as when you're 3 minutes to go?
Yeah, every pass is going to matter from here on out. The shutout's no longer available, but that doesn't mean that the defense hasn't had a stellar game. They've essentially kept them out for 80% of the entire game. So it's congratulations to Freedom to be able to find their rhythm, and then also in the air, just hammer it home. Absolutely, and you're right. They've not been in that scoring zone hardly at all in this game. In many ways, they've probably had fewer opportunities when you think about it than Focus did against WC Eagles, which sounds almost insane to even utter, but they've had very few chances. So getting that second one, 11-3 is going to be hard here in the last couple of minutes. And you can see they're trying to be methodical, which is definitely the way to go. Sometimes teams can stall too early, but it looks like they know what they're doing and how to do it. And just playing keep away very effectively. A lot of chasing right now for Freedom HKY, and it looks like just the way they're spread out and spaced. This is going to be a tall order to make this thing go down to the last minute or so with the outcome still hanging in the balance here. They get under a minute to go with a 2-goal lead, and you feel like you're pretty much in the safe zone here, and it's getting close to that point. Pressure is a good thing.
There's a long delivery, having to send this airborne to see if they can get into the other side of the 50, but Freedom HKY unable to do so, and now Texas Pride can sense that the bronze medal is within their grasps. It's a 2-goal lead after giving up that one to Freedom HKY earlier in the quarter with Gabriella Cathari.
Every reception that Pride is getting, they're looking back. It's a good read on Freedom.
They really are. And it's not like in hockey where they'll take the empty net and take the goalie. You can't do that in this situation because you know it's going to be pretty much impossible. And 30 seconds to go. Texas Pride has played a really sharp game for much of this one. Looking to close out 5-1, while Freedom HKY is headed for a 3-2-1 finish here at the Regional Training Center. But to be among the final 4 teams standing, still a really, really good showing. Gracie Crawford, Julia Clayton, Ellie Lewis and company about to celebrate. Bronze medal is theirs. 3-1 victorious over Freedom HKY. Oh, there's the run to the goalkeeper and the hugs that ensue as Texas Pride comes away with a medal in this USA Field Hockey National Club Championships presented by Harrow on the final Tuesday, final day of June 2026. Get your closing thoughts, Jana. Fun day and a fun 9-day extravaganza week here of hockey at the Regional Training Center, with memories are made and development continues to take place. And USA Field Hockey, they do it the right way.
I think with this being U19, I think for, from all of us, basically, best of luck, whatever your next chapter may be. You may be playing up, or you may be going international, or you may be playing off in college Division 1, 2, or 3, but best of luck to the athletes.
Well, it's been a pleasure working with you, Jana, and all the best to you, too.
Thank you.
Jana Benscoter from Female Athlete News. We want to thank our entire team, including Mackenzie Dickey earlier today, Chuck Thornton, of course, Nick Senti. I am Matthew Hatfield saying so long from sunny Virginia Beach, Virginia. You've been watching our coverage of USA Field Hockey's National Club Championships. It's been brought to you by Pain and Gain on Cova Sports TV and the great folks at Harrow. We'll see you next time. So long, everyone.